The Arizona sun beat down on the abandoned strip mall parking lot. Dylan Carter, a 41-year-old mechanic with grease-stained hands, squinted at a sedan parked crookedly. Something moved inside. As he approached, his breath caught. Dozens of tiny paw prints smeared the fogged glass. Inside, a German Shepherd puppy lay panting, his black and tan fur matted with sweat. The temperature gauge on Dylan's phone read 107 degrees Fahrenheit. "Jesus," he whispered, pressing his hand against the scorching window. The puppy, ribs visibly heaving, lifted his head weakly. Their eyes met through the glass, and in that moment, Dylan knew this wasn't just a stranded dog. This was a soul crying for help. His calloused fingers dialed 911 with uncharacteristic urgency. Somewhere behind him, a car door slammed. Help was coming, but would it arrive in time? Dylan crouched by the window, watching the puppy's shallow breaths. "Hold on, buddy," he murmured. The interior must have been 120 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to warp plastic. The puppy, later named Rex, had stopped barking. His pink tongue lolled, dry and swollen. Dylan's shirt stuck to his back as he frantically tried all doors, locked. A shadow fell across him. "It's just a dog," said Greg Mullins, a businessman adjusting his sunglasses. Dylan's jaw tightened. "And you're just a coward." Sirens wailed in the distance. Rex's eyes fluttered shut. Dylan pounded the glass. "Stay with me." Inside, Rex weakly lifted one paw, leaving another smudge on the window. A final message before collapsing.
Greg shrugged and walked toward his Lexus, car keys jingling. Dylan's voice cracked. "You'd leave him to die?" Greg didn't turn around. "Not my problem." The words hung in the blistering air. Dylan's hands shook, not from fear, but rage. He scanned the parking lot for a rock, a tool, anything. Nothing. Rex lay motionless now. Damn it. Dylan kicked the tire, then froze. Two figures in turnout gear rushed toward him. Firefighters Gabe Rivera, seasoned with salt and pepper hair, and Seth Monroe, young with freckles across his nose, carried specialized tools. "Move aside, sir," Gabe ordered. Seth checked the window. Pup's in bad shape. As they worked, Dylan whispered a prayer he hadn't uttered since childhood. The door popped open with a metallic groan. Heat blasted from the open door like a furnace. Rex wasn't moving. Dylan hesitated. What if the puppy was already gone? Seth reached in first. "I've got you, little man." He carefully lifted Rex's limp body. The puppy's fur was hot to the touch, his breathing barely detectable. Dylan's throat tightened. Without thinking, he stripped off his shirt and held out his arms. "Give him here." Seth transferred the fragile bundle. Rex felt frighteningly light. Dylan cradled him close, whispering nonsense comforts as they hurried to the fire truck. Gabe radioed ahead to Dr. Zoe Patel, the shelter's lead veterinarian. "Tell Zoe it's critical." In the truck's AC, Rex stirred slightly. Dylan studied the puppy's face, the scars around his muzzle, the way his ears twitched despite his weakness. This wasn't just any dog. This was a fighter.
The emergency vehicle sped through traffic, siren blaring. Dylan stroked Rex's head, feeling the rapid heartbeat. "You're gonna make it," he lied. Rex's tongue was pale, his gums white, severe dehydration. Seth exchanged worried glances with Gabe. Dylan knew that look. He'd seen it in the military when medics worked on soldiers too far gone. Then, a miracle. Rex's eyelids fluttered open. Brown eyes locked onto Dylan's, filled with quiet understanding. The puppy's tail gave one feeble thump against Dylan's thigh. "Did you see that?" Dylan's voice broke. Gabe smiled. "Tough little guy." As they pulled into the shelter, Dr. Patel, a petite woman with a no-nonsense bun, waited with a gurney. Her sharp eyes assessed Rex instantly. "Bring him inside, now." Dylan followed, still cradling the puppy who'd somehow claimed his heart in just 30 minutes. The sterile white exam room smelled of antiseptic. Dr. Patel worked efficiently, attaching IV lines to Rex's tiny legs. "His temperature's 106.3, she said calmly, but her forehead creased. Suddenly, Rex's chest stopped moving. Code blue. Zoe scans flew, starting compressions. Dylan's vision tunneled. This couldn't be happening, not after everything. He reached out instinctively, brushing Rex's paw. "Come on, soldier," he whispered, voice thick. "You've got more fight in you." The heart monitor flatlined. 1 second. 2. Then, a weak beep. Rex gasped, his body shuddering back to life. Zoe exhaled sharply. "Good boy." Dylan's knees nearly gave out. In that moment, he made a silent vow. If Rex survived, he'd ensure the puppy never suffered again. Zoe handed him a clipboard. "We need to name him for the records." Dylan didn't hesitate. "Rex, like a king." Outside, unnoticed by anyone, Greg Mullins's Lexus drove slowly past the shelter windows.
Zoe's office was cluttered with dog toys and medical journals. She removed her glasses, rubbing tired eyes. Rex has second-degree burns on his paw pads, heat stroke, and likely kidney damage. Dylan swallowed hard. Will he make it? Probably. Zoe's voice softened. But recovery will be long. She opened a desk drawer, revealing a faded photo of a German Shepherd. "My childhood dog, Max, died in a hot car when I was 12. Dylan understood now. Her intensity wasn't just professionalism, it was personal. A technician rushed in. "Rex is seizing." They ran to the ICU, where Rex convulsed violently on the table. Zoe grabbed medications while Dylan stroked Rex's head, murmuring prayers. As the seizure subsided, Rex's bleary eyes found Dylan's. The connection was instant. This broken puppy had somehow become his responsibility, his redemption. Night fell. The shelter emptied except for Dylan, keeping vigil beside Rex's kennel. The puppy slept fitfully, legs twitching. Dylan studied the medical chart. Prognosis? Guarded. He reached through the bars, gently touching Rex's ear. "You're not alone anymore, Rex." The name felt right, strong, regal, like the dog he knew Rex could become. Outside, crickets chirped. Inside, machines beeped. Dylan hadn't noticed Zoe watching from the doorway until she spoke. "Most people leave after dropping off strays," he shrugged. "I'm not most people." Zoe smiled knowingly. "Clearly." She handed him a blanket. "For when you inevitably fall asleep here." Dylan chuckled, but didn't deny it. As Zoe left, Rex whimpered in his sleep. Dylan sang softly, an old lullaby his mother used to sing. Rex's breathing deepened. Somewhere across town, Greg Mullins scrolled past the viral video of his cruel words, his finger hovering over the delete button.
3:17 a.m. The shelter's fluorescent lights hummed. Rex's IV bag needed changing. Dylan, bleary-eyed, startled awake when the heart monitor's rhythm changed. Rex was staring at him, eyes clearer now. The puppy weakly licked Dylan's proffered finger. "That's it, champ," Dylan whispered. His phone buzzed, a text from his boss. "Where the hell are you?" He turned it off. Right now, nothing mattered except the dog before him. Rex tried standing, but collapsed with a yelp. Dylan's heart clenched. "Easy, boy." He soaked a cloth in cool water, dabbing Rex's paws. The puppy sighed in relief. Through the window, the first hints of sunrise painted the sky peach. Dylan realized with surprise that he'd been here nearly 12 hours. He should be exhausted. Instead, he felt purposeful. Rex's tail thumped weakly against the blanket. It wasn't much, but it was everything. Somewhere in the building, Zoe watched the security feed wiping away tears. This was why she hadn't quit. Morning light revealed chaos. Dylan's phone buzzed incessantly. The local news had picked up the story. "Scottsdale man saves dog from hot car," blared the headlines. The footage showed Greg's dismissive shrug in crystal clarity. Comments poured in. "Disgusting human. That hero mechanic deserves a medal." Dylan muted it. He didn't want fame, he wanted Rex healthy. In the recovery room, Rex was sitting up, sniffing breakfast. "Look at you," Dylan's voice cracked. Rex turned, ears perking. His tail wagged just once, but it was enough.
Zoe entered with test results. Kidney numbers are improving. She hesitated. We've had adoption inquiries. Dylan's chest tightened. He's not going anywhere. As if understanding, Rex limped over, resting his head on Dylan's knee. Outside, a news van pulled up. Greg's company email exploded with complaints. And in that quiet moment, with Rex's warm weight against him, Dylan realized this wasn't just about saving a dog. It was about being saved in return.
Rex's bandaged paws touched the cold tile as Dr. Patel steadied him. "Easy now," she murmured. The German shepherd wobbled like a fawn, legs trembling with each painful step. Dylan crouched 3 feet away, arms outstretched. "Come on, Rex, you can do it." The puppy whined but took another step, then collapsed. Dylan scooped him up, feeling Rex's rapid heartbeat against his chest. "That's enough for today," Zoe said, but Dylan saw the hope in her eyes. Rex had fought this far, he'd keep fighting. Back in his kennel, Rex licked Dylan's fingers before drifting into exhausted sleep. Across town, Greg deleted another angry voicemail from his boss. The shelter's receptionist snapped a photo of Dylan asleep beside Rex's kennel, his large hand resting protectively over the puppy's back. By morning, the image would have 50,000 shares. The smell of antiseptic triggered the memory. Afghanistan, 2003. Private Dylan Carter knelt beside Ranger, a military canine bleeding out from an IED blast. "Stay with me, boy," young Dylan had begged, just as he'd begged Rex days ago. Ranger hadn't survived. Now, watching Rex's chest rise and fall, Dylan whispered the same words, but this time, fate listened. Zoe entered with fresh bandages, finding Dylan wiping his eyes. "You okay?" He cleared his throat. "Just dust." She pretended not to notice the dog tags peeking from his collar. Rex stirred, sniffing the air until his nose bumped Dylan's boot. The connection was instant. Rex somehow knew Dylan carried old wounds too. That night, Dylan dreamed of sand and gunfire until a wet nose nudged his hand. Rex stood guard beside his cot, alive and real. For the first time in years, Dylan slept through the night.
Zoe's clipboard tapped against the kennel bars. "We're overcrowded. Rex needs to be adopted by Friday or..." Dylan's stomach dropped. "Or what? Nevada's shelter has space." The unspoken truth hung between them. Transferred dogs often weren't prioritized. Rex pressed against Dylan's leg as if sensing the tension. "He's not ready," Dylan argued, gesturing to Rex's still bandaged paws. Zoe softened. "Then make him ready." Outside, rain drummed the roof. Dylan stared at Rex, his intelligent eyes, the way he'd started mirroring Dylan's movements. The paperwork burned in his pocket. Was he really considering this? His landlord didn't allow pets. His work schedule was erratic. But when Rex rested his head on Dylan's knee with a sigh, the decision crystallized. "What time do you close Friday?" Zoe's smile said everything. Across town, Greg's Lexus idled outside a liquor store, his reflection warped in the rain-streaked window. The young couple from Nevada knelt, offering Rex a treat. "He's gorgeous," the woman cooed. Rex sniffed politely, but didn't take it. Instead, he turned and limped straight to Dylan, leaning heavily against his legs. The man frowned. "Does he always do that?" Zoe folded her arms. "Only with him." Dylan's throat tightened as Rex stared up, brown eyes unwavering. The couple exchanged glances. "We'll think about it," they lied before leaving. Alone in the play yard, Dylan sank to the grass. Rex immediately flopped into his lap, tail thumping despite his healing injuries. "Guess that's that," Dylan muttered, scratching behind Rex's ears. Zoe appeared with paperwork. "Sign here." Her pen hovered over the adopter line. Dylan hesitated, then scrawled his name with a mechanic's messy signature. Rex licked his wrist once, as if sealing the deal. That evening, Dylan bought a red collar with a silver tag. Rex. If found, call Dylan.
Dylan's hand shook as he initialed the final form. "Congratulations," Zoe said dryly. "You've just adopted a medical nightmare." Rex sneezed as if offended. The shelter staff applauded. Even the stoic janitor wiped his eyes. Dylan clipped the new collar around Rex's neck, fingers fumbling with the buckle. "Welcome home, kid." Outside, Rex froze at the truck's open door, nostrils flaring at the unfamiliar scent of Dylan's old Ford. "It's okay," Dylan soothed, lifting him onto the passenger seat. Rex trembled but didn't resist. As they pulled away, Zoe watched from the doorway, Max's old photo tucked in her pocket. At the first stoplight, Rex rested his head on Dylan's thigh. The mechanic exhaled a breath he'd held for decades. That night in Dylan's sparse apartment, Rex circled 3 times before collapsing onto the lone pillow. Dylan took the floor. Neither cared. Some bonds defy comfort. The bell jingled as Greg entered Carter's custom auto. Dylan stiffened, grease-stained wrench in hand. Rex, napping in his designated office corner, lifted his head and growled. Greg slid an envelope across the counter. "For the shelter." Dylan didn't touch it. "Keep it." Greg's jaw twitched. "Look, I didn't know." "You didn't care," Dylan corrected. Rex stood, his gait still uneven but his stance protective. Greg eyed the dog warily. "I'm trying to make it right." Dylan opened the envelope, a $500 check. He nearly laughed. "This isn't for Rex, it's for your conscience." He tore the check in half. Rex barked once, sharp and final. Greg left without another word. Later, Dylan would tape the pieces back together and donate the money anonymously. But today, he knelt beside Rex, scratching his favorite spot behind the ears. "Some people don't change, boy." Rex licked his cheek, as if to say, "But we did."
Rex claimed Dylan's garage like a king surveying his realm. Customers chuckled as he supervised oil changes from his dog-bed throne. Gabe Rivera stopped by with a Firehouse-branded chew toy. "Heard you two were inseparable." Rex accepted the gift regally. Dylan smiled. "He's my best mechanic." It was true. Rex alerted to loose lug nuts with a single boof. At lunch, they shared sandwiches at the dented workbench. Rex always got the last bite. One rainy afternoon, an elderly woman brought her trembling chihuahua. "My Millie's scared of storms," she explained. To everyone's shock, Rex nudged the tiny dog into his bed, curling around her protectively. Dylan's chest ached watching them. That night, he hung a sign, "Rex's Garage, all dogs welcome." As Rex snored at his feet, Dylan finally understood. This scruffy survivor wasn't just his dog. He belonged to everyone who needed hope. 2 a.m. A hissing sound woke Rex first. He launched onto Dylan's bed, barking frantically. "Quiet, boy," Dylan groaned, but Rex grabbed his sleeve and pulled. That's when Dylan smelled it. Gas. He stumbled to the kitchen, Rex at his heels. The stove line had ruptured. Dylan flung open windows, then carried Rex outside. The cold night air burned his lungs as he called 911. Firefighters arrived within minutes. "You're lucky," said the captain. "5 more minutes?" Dylan looked down at Rex, who panted at his feet. The puppy had saved his life. At dawn, they sat on the porch steps, sharing a bacon sandwich, Dylan's hands still shaking. Rex leaned against him, warm and solid. "Guess we're even," Dylan murmured. But it wasn't true. Some debts can't be repaid. The local paper ran the story, "Rescue Dog Returns the Favor." Greg read it at a diner, his untouched coffee growing cold.
The chapel was empty, except for Dylan, Rex, and the lingering scent of candle wax. Sunlight streamed through stained glass, painting Rex's fur in blues and reds. Dylan hadn't stepped inside a church since Ranger's death, but today demanded thanks. He knelt awkwardly. Rex sat beside him, unusually still. "Don't know if you remember me," Dylan whispered. A sparrow fluttered in the rafters. Rex's ears perked, but he didn't move. Dylan's voice broke. "But thank you for this dog." The words unlocked something. Tears fell freely now. Rex rested his head on Dylan's knee, absorbing each shuddering breath. When the mechanic finally stood, his knees popped. Rex sneezed, breaking the solemn moment. Dylan laughed wetly. "Amen, huh?" Outside, Zoe waited with a knowing smile. She handed Dylan a pamphlet. Therapy Dog Certification. Rex wagged his tail. The next chapter was beginning. Dylan rolled up his sleeves at the shelter's charity BBQ. Rex lounged at his feet, licking at his healed but hairless paw pads. Conversations died as people noticed Dylan's forearm, the jagged scar from Afghanistan. A little girl pointed. "Does it hurt?" Dylan glanced at Rex. Not anymore. Zoe served burgers while Gabe manned the grill. Rex charmed everyone, even letting kids decorate his cast, now removed, with markers. An elderly vet crouched with difficulty to stroke Rex's head. "I had a canine in Nam," he rasped. Dylan nodded, no words needed. As sunset painted the sky, Rex leaned against Dylan's legs, sighing contentedly. The mechanic studied their reflections in the fundraising poster. A scarred man and his scarred dog. Perfectly imperfect. Across the park, Greg watched from his car before driving away. Some stories aren't about villains or heroes, just broken pieces finding where they fit.
Every morning, like clockwork, Rex would pause by the living room window, nose pressed to the glass, body tense. Dylan knew why. The memory of that scorching car still haunted him. But now, something was different. After a few seconds, Rex would turn away, trotting back to Dylan's side as if reminding himself, "I'm safe now." One rainy afternoon, Dylan left the window open a crack. Rex sniffed the air, ears twitching at the sound of birds. Then, for the first time, he lay down beneath it, choosing to stay inside. Dylan's throat tightened. Healing wasn't linear. Some fears lingered. But progress? That came in quiet moments like this. That night, as Dylan clicked off the lights, Rex didn't glance at the window. He just curled up on his bed, sighing deeply. Dylan smiled. Maybe tomorrow, they'd leave it open a little wider. Zoe arrived at the garage unannounced, a small box in hand. Rex bounded toward her, tail whipping like a metronome. "Someone's happy," she laughed, scratching his ears. Dylan wiped grease off his hands. "What's the occasion?" Zoe opened the box, a custom-made leather collar, engraved with Rex, survivor, hero, family. Dylan's breath caught. Rex sat patiently as she buckled it on, as if he understood its significance. "Thought he deserved an upgrade," she said softly. Dylan hugged her, surprising them both. "Thank you." Rex pranced around, showing off his new accessory to the shop's customers. Later, as Zoe left, she paused. "You know, Max would have liked him." Dylan nodded. Some legacies lived on in unexpected ways. That night, Rex slept with his nose tucked under the collar, as if cherishing the words. Dylan took a photo, his new lock screen, proof that broken things could still shine.
An elderly woman approached as Dylan filled his truck. "Excuse me," she said, voice trembling. "Is that the Rex?" Dylan tensed. Was this a reporter? But her wrinkled hands held no phone, only a worn-out leash. "My Henry, he passed last year. Looked just like your boy." Rex, sensing her grief, nudged her palm. The woman's eyes welled. "I saw the video. You saved him." Dylan swallowed hard. "He saved me too." She knelt with effort, letting Rex lick her tears. "Would you let me visit him sometime?" Dylan scribbled his shop's address on a receipt. "Anytime." As she drove away, Rex whined softly. Dylan ruffled his fur. "You've got a fan club, kid." That evening, the woman's Google review popped up. "Met Rex today. My heart's lighter." Dylan read it aloud. Rex wagged his tail, oblivious to his impact, but Dylan wasn't. Some souls were meant to heal others, even four-legged ones. Snowflakes dusted the garage as Dylan hung a single ornament, Rex's old shelter tag. "First Christmas," he murmured. Rex, sporting a lopsided reindeer bandana, sniffed the wrapping paper skeptically. Dylan laughed. "Just wait." He unveiled his gift, an orthopedic memory foam bed. Rex circled it once before flopping down with a groan of delight. Yeah, spoiled rotten. Outside, carolers sang. Inside, Dylan sipped cocoa watching Rex snore. A knock startled them. Zoe stood there holding a present. "For both of you." Inside was a framed photo, Dylan asleep beside Rex's kennel that first night. The caption, "Where it began." Dylan's vision blurred. Rex nosed his hand, as if to say, "No tears, just joy." Later, as they walked home, Rex carried his new stuffed squirrel proudly. Dylan smiled. Last Christmas, he'd been alone. This year, he had family. And it was all because of a broken puppy who'd refused to give up.
The trembling Labrador mix cowered in the kennel corner. Rex, usually playful, froze. Then, with deliberate slowness, he lay down, belly exposed, and whined softly. The pup inched forward. Dylan held his breath. This was new. Rex licked the pup's face, once, twice, until the little tail wagged. Zoe wiped her eyes. "Well, damn," Dylan grinned. "Told you he's magic." For an hour, Rex let the pup climb over him, nipping his ears without protest. When they left, the Labrador was asleep, exhausted but peaceful. In the car, Rex flopped against Dylan, sighing. "Proud of you," Dylan whispered. That night, Rex dream-chased something, legs twitching. Dylan wondered if he'd imagined saving that pup today. Or maybe, just maybe, Rex remembered his own rescue and was paying it forward. Either way, the shelter called next morning. The Labrador had been adopted. Dylan scratched Rex's favorite spot. "You're changing lives, kid." Rex yawned, as if to say, "I know." They stood where it all began, the abandoned strip mall. Rex sniffed the asphalt, tail stiff. Dylan knelt, cupping his muzzle. "Listen, kid, you'll never be locked away again. Not by anyone, not even me." Rex studied him, then licked his nose. Promise accepted. A breeze carried the scent of rain. Dylan's phone buzzed, a customer asking for an oil change. Normally, he'd rush back. Today, he texted, "Closed for important business." They walked for hours, Rex leading the way. Past the fire station, Gabe waved, the park, where kids shouted, "It's Rex!" And finally, home. That evening, Dylan hung Rex's leash on a hook by the door, always within reach. No more cages, no more fear, just open roads ahead. As Rex snoozed on the couch, Dylan studied the stars through the window. Funny how life worked. Sometimes salvation came with 4 paws and a wagging tail.
Dylan woke to an empty bed. Panic spiked until he spotted Rex. The dog sat by the wide-open window, ears perked at chirping birds. Not trembling, not pacing, just watching. Dylan didn't move, didn't breathe. This was it, the final hurdle. A breeze ruffled Rex's fur. He sniffed, then walked away, back to Dylan, as if saying, "I'm free, but I choose you." The mechanic pulled him close, burying his face in Rex's neck. No words needed. That afternoon, they drove with windows down, Rex's tongue lolling in the wind. At the garage, customers cheered. "Look who's living large!" Rex pranced, showing off his newfound boldness. That night, Dylan left the bedroom window cracked. Rex didn't check it once, just curled up, sighing. Some battles ended quietly, without fanfare. But Dylan knew this victory, it was everything. The news segment aired at 6 p.m. Local hero dog inspires new animal welfare laws. Dylan muted the TV. Rex, oblivious, gnawed his bacon-flavored toy. The phone rang nonstop.
Reporters, politicians, even a Hollywood agent. Dylan ignored them. Legacy wasn't fame. It was the shy teen who'd adopted the Labrador mix Rex comforted, the elderly woman who now volunteered at the shelter, the firehouse collecting donations in Rex's name. That evening, Dylan taped a paw print to the garage wall, Rex's official signature beside his own. A customer asked, "Why not monetize his story?" Dylan shrugged. Some gifts are too big to sell. Rex trotted over, dropping a slobbery tennis ball at the man's feet. This was their legacy. Not headlines, not money. Just a simple truth. Love could rewrite the darkest stories. And sometimes, the rewrite came with a wagging tail.
Years later, the garage still smelled of oil and dog treats. Dylan's hands, now speckled with age, adjusted the display case. Inside, Rex's first collar, his hero dog tag, and a faded photo of them sleeping in the shelter. The bell jingled. A young couple entered, holding a German Shepherd puppy. "We heard you're the best," the woman said. Dylan smiled. "Nah, he was." The puppy sniffed the case, then licked the glass, right over Rex's image. Dylan's breath hitched. Maybe souls circled back sometimes. As the couple left, the man hesitated. "Got any advice?" Dylan looked at the puppy's bright eyes. "Leave windows open, literally and figuratively." That night, he sat beneath the stars, Rex's old collar in his lap. The wind chime tinkled, a sound Rex had always loved. Dylan closed his eyes. Some bonds never faded. They just waited until the next broken soul needed saving. The vet's office was too quiet. Dylan, gray-haired now, stroked Rex's muzzle. "It's okay, boy." 14 years wasn't enough, but love wasn't measured in time. Rex licked his palm once, "Thank you," before closing his eyes. The first sob tore through Dylan like thunder. Zoe, now retired, squeezed his shoulder. Outside, the sunset painted the sky gold. That night, Dylan didn't go home. He walked, past the strip mall, the fire station, the park. Everywhere Rex had left paw prints on his heart. At dawn, he returned to the garage and froze. A note was taped to the door. "Dear Mr. Carter, we adopted Buddy from your shop last month. He led us to a stray German Shepherd pup. Thought you should meet him." Dylan turned. A teenager stood there, holding a black and tan puppy. The pup yipped, squirming to get down. When his paws hit the ground, he ran straight to Dylan. The mechanic fell to his knees, and for the second time in his life, he was saved.